All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably take this off. It's a D-loop. I've got plenty of D-loop material. Right now I have what I want on there, which is the lighted knock, but I'm getting some pretty severe knock pinch out of it, because I want to also put in a couple of knock sets. I'm actually just trying to cut through this D-loop material on the top. Once I've got it kind of off there, I'm going to leave the bottom. I've already done that multiple times. I know that's where I want it. Everything else should be pretty much square, but doing the top real quick, I can kind of get to it, and then if anything, I can just remove this D-loop material altogether. I don't need it. I'm tying a new one. But because I didn't like the way this sat inside here initially, and right now it even has kind of a gap, which I want a little bit of a gap, but I don't want it to be too crazy. So I'm going to start tying in some knock sets at the top first, just to give me that nice level. Because I want it semi-tight, but not super tight when I'm doing this. I want it to have a little bit of room to breathe. And my preference is to put the wraparound in the same area. So, and I've seen it done a couple of different ways, and I'm sure they have reasons for it. But I like to tie the first knot that I want it to set first, and then I'll bring it down, tighten it just a little bit more. And because I'm kind of doing this in reverse, I want it to be snug. I don't want it to be overly tight, but I want it to be snug right now, because the bottom one, once I get this all set, will be where I want it to set. Like, I want it to be right there. And again, I like to put all my tie knots on one side. I usually only do about 2 to 3 wraps. Just because I'm still toying with this, I'm gonna do 3, just in case I have to take this all back off and I don't like it and I need to tie it again. It's a little easier to get to. You can actually see the spacing once you've done it. But now, getting down to it, usually I only do the 2, but now that I have 3, it's a little bit looser. Not my favorite, but it'll be fine. I'll tighten it up. And if for whatever reason you can't get it to tighten and you're trying to loop it over, just get something to give you a little bit more of a tug. They should be pretty tight, pretty snug once you're done. I only did three decent loops, but it's a little fat for me. I'm not overly fond of huge knock sets, but I'll get it done that way. And then I will do a quick final tie-in. Make sure that it's square. Loop it a couple times. I don't mind it being a little bigger on the back side. And then cinch it down. Honestly, I don't know. Knock points or knock sets or whatever, I kind of don't use them all the time, but because I'm messing around with this particular setup, I think I'm fine with trying something a little different. And then I take it, spin it a little bit, get it all wrapped together. That way I cut evenly when I do cut it. And I prefer to get it fairly close to it. And that's done. Need to burn it real quick. My bow's tilted a little bit, so whatever you do, you don't want to have that particular level where you're burning something and your string is above it. You want to kind of be off to the side and make sure you don't burn your other pieces. So I don't want it to burn my strings that are actually set on the bow. So maybe not everybody does that. I do. I just burn the ends. Why not? If I really like them, then they're staying there for a little while, so I'm not too worried about it. I've watched tons of different videos. I've done tons of these Nock sets for people that wanted them. I just particularly mind that I usually just use a D-loop material and make sure that I have a little bit of space so that I don't have a pinch. Obviously, when I set this one up, we had set it up with the X Nocks on the axis arrows. And right now, I think we're cherry. Those look pretty tight. They should be there for a good long while now that they're burnt. But we'll see. It's a little big for my taste. But like I said, I'd rather it be a little bit big right now, just to see fitment and everything. Because even now, that's way better compared to just the regular D-loop, because those X Nocks are, for whatever reason, quite a bit, flatter. There has a good flat space to it, so it's not as fat as these nocturnal lighted Nocks. So I knew I was gonna have to make some adjustments, but that should be fine. A little fat. I usually do about 2 turns. Some of these other bows I've had adjusted, there were 3 or 4 on there, and I don't know. I don't like the way that looks. But let's go ahead and we'll do the bottom now. So get that arrow out of the way. Now that we have the top done, I'm just gonna cut this extra material off. Again, you could do this by setting it all back up and doing it with, your levels and everything else. I've already messed with that enough that I feel like this, as long as I'm tight, this bottom anchor point is going to be just fine, just the way it is. Once I tie it in, I'm not going to super cinch this down. I want it to be just a hair loose. I don't want it bouncing around everywhere, but I don't want it to pinch whenever I draw it back. So far I've had some weird flight with these Nocks. Without them, the arrows are set up perfect. They're fantastic. I think I have, with even the weight in the back, I'm still getting just over either 12 to 14% FOC, which I'm fine with. My other arrows were just set up for weight, and I didn't have probably anywhere near that much FOC. So front of center, these arrows, you can tell that there's a lot of weight out front once you put it all together, and they've been flying great. I'm getting super good penetration, kind of both sides of the wall. I think they're at 465, and then I think with the Nock it goes up to like 475, something like that. But I'd have to look at it. It might be 485. So it's getting a little bit more on the heavier side, but I could probably still lose some weight on the arrow, and that's probably what I'll end up with in the end. But for right now, I want to just make sure that I got this right, because I do want to try the the lighted Nocks, even if it's just the first time, and see. I wanna give them the best opportunity as far as like testing goes, and then go from there. But like I said, I want it to be tight, but I'm not sure I want it ultra tight, so we'll see. But that definitely has a little bit of wiggle room in it, just enough that I'm comfortable with that. So you just want to make sure it's nice and snug, nice and tight when you do it. I'm sure there's tons of different ways to do this, maybe a little cleaner than my setup right now. I don't mind it. I like the way this setup goes. Like I said, I usually do 2 and then I'm good, but I want it to have a little bit more room to wiggle, but not a lot. I don't want that to be too wiggly. So that moved quite a bit, but not enough to be worried about. We'll see. Plus, you always have to worry about whenever you do set your D-loop, that if you're stretching out the center serving here, it's messing you up too. So just got to be careful. I've got a little bit of wiggle, which is what I was going for. Just because when you pull it all the way back, that little tiny, it's probably only about the size of 1 strand, is what's gonna be wiggling around. And I think that might be too much as it moved. So top's good, top's nice and tight. But bottom might need to be redone, just because I do have some slight center serving separation there, probably from the last one. But I'm not gonna stress it too much. I wanted to see how it would shoot with that little bit of wiggle room, because before I had it super tight and it just did not like that. I did not like it at all. So I'm just trying to get away from that Nock pinch. We may be a hair loose, but I think I'll live with that. Let me put these. Actually, you know what? It's loose enough right now. Let me see if I can get it all the way up. Just a hair. All right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like that at all. All right. Because now the more I wiggle it, the worse it's getting. I'm good there. Now it's dropping down. All right. Well, sometimes you don't get it exactly the way you want it the first time. So I'm just gonna cut it. Start over, start fresh. Again, you just want to be careful. You don't want to cut your string. That's way more important than the other material that's on the bow. Because I did not like the way that sat. I thought it was good, but then it started to wiggle way more than I wanted. It should literally be like a single strand. This is kind of heavier material, so it gives me a little bit more pressure on it without having like tiny little strands. But that's okay. There you go. All right, let's start all over again. not a big deal. There's plenty of material here. I'll give myself a fair bit more on this one. I'm gonna tighten it way better. I did not like the way that sat. Straighten that up a little bit. May have to end up retying the center serving on this too, but that's okay. Get that up there. Better, much better. Single string instead of 2 single strings, or I should say single wraps around. So. All right, definitely looks a lot better there. All right. Let's put this here. Much better. A little bit of wiggle, not a lot. Just a little bit of stretch room. All right. Take that same material again. Pull it straight back. Twist it up nice and twisty. Get that there. Okay, perfect. All right, a little short, but I will burn those suckers. And once they're done, you won't even be able to see those because they'll be behind the D-loop. And the fronts will look nice and pretty. Okay. All right, next step. Now that we've got the knock sets in, that's good. Try not to make them worse. But, and that material's pretty thick. That's some new material. But I don't mind it. I think it'll be fine for what I'm testing out. I'm gonna end up probably having to make some adjustments anyway, so it'll be fine. Next step, get your D-loop material. All right, I'm gonna start a new one because this one's already went way too long.